This is looking fantastic for our race leader currently. Through this little complex of corners. Ubali trying to closely follow Steinmine. Try not to get affected too much by that dirty air. But look how close these two drivers are. They could be involved quite easily in a scrap with each other. As we also see Kadir getting pretty close to Haytite Gaming ahead of him. But this is probably the closest battle on the track right now, is for P3 between Ubali and Rene. Steinmine not too far ahead of that scrap either. We'll see, maybe Rene can actually look at making a move here, but he's gone very able to drag out just a little bit of a gap. We just see Kadir's just gotten past Haytite Gaming. Haytite's still going to look down the inside though, but I think he's just going to be a little bit too far back to get the re-overtake through there. He's trying, he's pushing Kadir through the corner, but not quite able to make a move. They're following each other very, very closely indeed, but not enough just yet as we see Haytite pick up today. But look at this fight here between Kenny and Haytite Gaming. They're side by side down the straight, both of them with the DRS. The Ferrari been back behind the Red Bull now. And that's some good overtaking there by Kenny to get the move done on his Ferrari rival. But look at this, Rene now only 2/10 behind Ubali. He's right on his gearbox. And is he going to look at making the move? Not just yet. He's going to have to stay behind through Maggotts Beckett, as we see his fantastic pink helmet there on display, contrasting with the white of the Haas car. But he's going to be following very closely to Ubali now. I'm sure he's going to be using all his ERS. He's going to move to the outside. He's going to try and hang it around the outside of Ubali. And I think he may have the move done just for now, but Ubali's going to try and fight it back, maybe try and switch back Rene through this sector, but he lost a little bit of grip there when he got on throttle, and I think that's going to be the end of that story, at least for a lap. Unless Rene makes a mistake, but he's now just over a second time, so he's going to put the DRS range of Stein if he wants to back again. Let's go back to this fight here with Jay and T-Widow. Jay might have a little look down the inside. He's can't quite. T-Widow locks up a little bit, but he manages to stick to his line. And he's not giving Jay the chance to overtake, but he is now, because he's just done a Valtteri Bottas. He's dipped a wheel in the gravel. I think that spooked Jay a little bit. He lifted off. He probably could have gone for the move there, but I think he valued self-preservation over the glory. But that shows the pressure can force people into mistakes, and that's what Jay has to try and do. He has to try and keep the pressure on T-Widow. Follow him closely, and look, T-Widow's got another grass again. This should be an easy overtake as he pulls to the left hand side and goes flying past, and he may even be able to have a little look at Ubali. I think he might be a little bit too far back. He's got to have a look, as Ubali did go a little bit. It's not going to be enough, but look at these guys side by side. Battle between Red Bull and the sister team of AlphaTauri. They're going to go side by side through sector 3. It looks like Kenny's just going to pick up that position, and we see Ubali actually into the pits now. Probably 4 or 5 laps earlier than you would imagine that he would try and come into the pit. So a little bit of damage there, it's hard to tell. Doesn't look like it. As Young Ants passes him as well, he's gone into the hard tyres, so perhaps trying a very long undercut here. You see T-Widow picking up penalties as well for the track limits. Ubali's going to be coming out though in 15th, so he's got space ahead of him. He can put those fast laps in without worrying about dirty air, so who knows, if some guys fight quite a lot then the undercut could really work here, but we'll watch this fight between the two Haas teammates, because Rene is really quickly closing up to Steinmeier. Neither of them have much in the way of ERS to play with. Looks like Rene just being able to find the grip a little bit better than Stein, just going a little bit faster through the corners. I think he went too fast through that one though, because he's got himself caught on the grass. It might not matter though, because they give him that straight line speed advantage. He's got to go to the right and go down the inside of Steinmeier. You might try and perhaps pull a switch back on him, but we'll see. He might try and dive it down the inside, but he's got to be more sensible than that. He's got to hang back. That's a great move by Rene to take P2. We will see Kadir still keeping after Kenny to try and make a move, perhaps down the next straight or wait till the end of the lap for the hanger straight. But these guys have just been fighting for 2 or 3 laps straight now. Kadir almost pushing Kenny through the corner there. He's going to be able to at least get alongside here if he can keep everything clean. He is going to have the DRS that Kenny will not have. Kenny did just break the toe quite aggressively there, and I think that's done just enough to keep him ahead. And we see Steinzap is already on the back of Haytight Gaming for P8, so we'll see if maybe he can try and make a move. He's run a little bit wide there, but I think he's just making better use of the track than Haytight is up ahead of him, so we'll see if he can make a pass, perhaps onto the hanger straight. We're riding on board right now, and you can see how much the dirty air is affecting Stein through those fast corners. He's going way more conservative than he would usually be, but this is where he's got to try and make the move. He's got the DRS, he's going to be chasing that Ferrari down this straight, he's got the slipstream, he pulls out to the right hand side to go down the inside, and that looks like a pretty easy overtake as Haytight, he's tried to hang it around the outside. He may actually do it here. Haytight to somehow keep alongside around the outside. And look at this, we have not seen this yet today. 2 cars going side by side throughout essentially the whole of the 3rd sector. But it's not over yet, because Haytight is going to be in the slipstream on the run up to sector 1. And he is going to move to the side. He's going to try and go round the outside of turn 3. These guys... Look at Haytight just trying to get a few different lines, just to try and get a better exit, maybe get Steinzap into the apexes of one of these fast corners in sector 1, but he's got the chance now down the straight. I think he's going to be too far behind though. But that was a fantastic bit of battle in between those 2 cars there now. We're going to go over to Steinmeier and see that Rene has already pulled almost enough of a gap to get himself out of the DRS range. Got Kadir following in P7. Following behind Kenny. We've seen these 2 going at it quite a bit over the past few laps, so we'll see if they can find themselves in a battle with each other yet again. I think Kadir is going to be a little bit too far back to try and move though, so he's just going to have to bide his time. We'll be hoping Kenny doesn't have enough pace to pull out a gap from him, and he's going to have to push really hard to try and keep up with the Red Bull now. We see Hubali's already close to within half a stun, so he's been putting in good lap times on those hard tyres. Those hard tyres have been working for him. We're right on board with the Ferrari here as he has got past blank because he's come into the pit, so he's the first of the cars to pit for those the one stop on the medium tyre on lap 10. Of course the earliest lap in the pit window, but what have we got here? We've got, I think, Kadir and Haytight have had some issues. Yeah, Kadir's on the grass. He's lost a lot of time, I think, there. He lets young Ants go flying past in his Alfa Romeo. But that is not great news there for Kadir. I wonder what happened there. I wonder if he was in the fight with Kenny and they made a little bit of contact, or he just misjudged his traction or something. But Kadir's out of place now. He should be higher up with what his pace is like, but he's going to have a big job on his hands to try and get back to where he wants to be. But we'll see Widow and Jay all in the pits as Steinmeier inherits the race lead, trying to stretch those tyres, maybe 1 or 2 extra laps. But he could be caught out here. If those drivers are coming out behind him and setting fast times on fresh tyres, he could be in a bit of trouble. See, but it's suddenly gotten very, very busy in that pit lane. Look at this, Jay coming out just behind Hubali. They were almost side by side there. You'd imagine Jay is going to have a lot more grip though when those mediums get up to temperature, so he shouldn't have too difficult of a task of dispatching that Renault. And here comes Steinmeier coming into the pits, is what we thought he would be doing on this lap. He needs to try and cover off that undercut from the cars behind, and Kenny's done the same. We'll see though, it may be a little bit too late though. We'll see if he can still get out ahead of Rene, but it seems unlikely. I think the cars that were already in the top 3 before the pit stops may well be able to take the net lead from Steinmeier here. He's going to be exiting the pit in any second now. And here comes BLC. Yep, he's taken that position, and as has Rene. Over mates while he was in the pits. So, oh, Steinmeier nearly losing it there. He made a good catch to keep it on the racetrack. Spinning is one way to warm up those cold medium tyres, but something tells me it's not the best thing to do. Pressure as he has just come out of the pits. It looks like he's going to have the pace over Alphastone to be able to pull away and get himself out of DRS range, so that's going to be Alphastone's fight here today. But Jay and Hubali are pretty close together as well. Got close to each other on the racetrack, but this could be Jay's chance. He's going to have the DRS and the slipstream, but he's not turned his DRS off. I think he may just be waiting for a different opportunity to try and strike, but I think I'd wager that if he'd used his DRS there, he probably could have made a pass. We'll see as we've got another fastest lap of the race as T Widow is following Kenny through sector 3 onto lap 13 out of 26. We're now at the halfway point in this race, so still half the race to go. And I want to follow these guys, but we've got to watch out as well that KDSX is getting pretty close to Kadir, and I should have followed those guys because Kenny has just been passed by T Widow. It looks like he may have made a mistake because those guys, they weren't that close that you would think T Widow would be able to get past through there. But T Widow's also going to have the DRS, which is going to keep him safe from the attack, the counter attack of Kenny down the straight. So that's good for T Widow. Start pulling the gap. Alphastone has made a mistake. It's backed him right off into Hubali, and then just behind Hubali, of course, is still Jay who's chasing. So we've got these 3 cars. I think Jay is the fastest car in 6th, and Hubali slightly slower than Jay in 5th, and then Alpha even slower than 5th in 4th. So all of these drivers are going to be trying to make moves on each other. This could be a fun little scrap. Here in the British countryside, we'll see. Of course, only Alphastone that doesn't have the DRS. They could be going 3 wide. I think Hubali's got that move pretty safely done. Alphastone nearly loses the rear, but he manages to keep it together. We do have, I think that's Young Ants off as well, but we're going to focus on this fight right now as we've got Jay fighting with Alphastone. Good run on him out of this done. It's a bit risky to try and go for a move into turn 1, but you can try and follow him through and maybe get him in turn 3. Alphastone clearly struggling for grip. That McLaren squirming around underneath him through that high speed corner. But this is going to be hurting Jay now. He doesn't want to get stuck behind the McLaren. He's going to lose time to the Renault, and look how aggressive Alpha was there with the defence. Jay has to watch out. He nearly got his wing taken off there, but he's going to really Need to try and make a move down here into Bucklands, but he's going to be a little bit too far behind. He's going to have to wait and see if Alpha maybe drifts a little bit wide, perhaps locks up here, but Alpha's keeping it pretty clean. He may run wide again like he did last lap. He doesn't, but Jay is going to have a good toe. He is going to be using the ERS, and Alpha Stun is conserving his. Moving position in that McLaren in a fantastic way to defend from Jay, who's just has to back off a little bit. Alpha Stun currently driving the widest McLaren F1 car to ever exist. It feels like when you watch the onboards here, but this is the chance now for Jay. He needs to put himself in the slipstream. He's going to move to the outside. This should be a clean pass, and I don't think Alpha is going to have an answer to it. And he is not as Jay goes past, but we've got an issue as well there. I think that's Haytight Gaming. Yeah, it's Haytight Gaming there that's spun. We'll have to see. Maybe he might have some damage, maybe he will not, but yeah, he does. Most of the left side of his front wing is gone, so he's going to have to make another pit stop. It'd be interesting to see what he goes on to, because he can make the softs last to the end. Bear in mind there were 11 laps left, and we did see the it's about 11. I think he's going to be going on to the softs. Maybe we'll see a late charge for fastest lap coming pretty soon. But here's your race leader, just controlling the pace right now. He's driven fantastically well from start to finish, and he now has just over 10 laps left to try and keep this lead. Renee only 2 seconds behind though, so if anybody makes a mistake, all these drivers are going to be close enough to each other that they're going to be able to pounce. So let's